Jack Thompson, a seasoned diplomat and former military officer from Australia, stood before the imposing High Council of the Empire, his nerves tightly wound. The council members, with their diverse alien features and superior attitudes, regarded him with a mixture of curiosity and condescension. Jack's mission was clear: to introduce the Empire to one of Earth's most cherished traditions, Halloween. "We propose to share Halloween with you," Jack began, his voice steady. "It is a celebration rooted in ancient customs, a night where we honor both the living and the dead through costumes, games, and community gatherings." The council's leader, High Chancellor Zorax, a tall figure with luminescent skin and piercing eyes, leaned forward. "Another trivial human festivity? Enlighten us, Earthling." Jack explained the origins of Halloween, describing the carving of pumpkins, the dressing up in costumes, and the practice of trick-or-treating. The council members exchanged amused glances and whispered among themselves. "Very well," Zorax finally said, waving his hand dismissively. "You have our permission. This should be entertaining." Despite their mockery, Jack was determined. He had seen the power of cultural exchange firsthand and believed that this event could bridge the gap between humans and the Empire. With renewed resolve, he set out to organize the celebration, hoping to showcase the richness of Earth's traditions. Jack assembled a team of dedicated individuals from both Earth and various planets within the Empire. Among them were Dr. Evelyn Carter, a cultural anthropologist from Canada, and Ral Noor, a technologically adept alien with a penchant for human customs. Together, they faced the monumental task of transforming a grand hall into a Halloween wonderland. As the team worked tirelessly, they encountered numerous challenges: skepticism from the council, logistical hurdles, and the need to explain the concept of Halloween to beings who had never experienced fear or fun in the same way humans did were just a few. Yet, Jack's determination never wavered. Finally, the day of the celebration arrived. The grand hall was adorned with eerie decorations, from intricately carved pumpkins to holographic ghosts. Guests, both human and alien, arrived dressed in a variety of costumes. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. The council members observed the festivities with detached amusement. Jack noted their expressions, but remained hopeful. As children, both human and alien, ran around collecting candy and playing games, the guests' initial skepticism began to wane. However, as the night progressed, a minor technical glitch occurred. The holographic decorations malfunctioned, causing real phantasms to appear. Ghostly apparitions floated through the air, eliciting gasps and whispers of fear from the guests. "This wasn't part of the plan," Jack muttered, eyes wide with alarm. The council members, now genuinely frightened, began to panic. "This is outrageous," Zorax thundered. "What is the meaning of this?" Jack quickly rallied his team. They worked frantically to fix the glitch, while Jack addressed the terrified guests. "This is the essence of Halloween," he explained. "It's about confronting fear, finding fun in the unknown, and celebrating the thrill of life and death." The aliens' initial fear slowly turned into curiosity as they started to understand the thrill of Halloween. Some even began to participate, albeit cautiously. They engaged in trick-or-treating, tried on costumes, and carved pumpkins with hesitant delight. As the phantasms were finally brought under control, the Galactic Empire's officials, having experienced genuine fear and excitement, began to see Halloween in a new light. The mix of fear and fun, the shared experience of facing the unknown, resonated with them in a way they hadn't expected. High Chancellor Zorax approached Jack as the event continued. "Your holiday has shown us much about your species," he admitted, his tone begrudgingly respectful. "Perhaps there is more value in your customs than we realized." Jack smiled, knowing he had achieved more than just hosting an event. He had fostered understanding and respect between Earth and the Empire. From that night forward, Halloween became a celebrated event, a symbol of cultural exchange and mutual respect. Ghostly apparitions floated through the grand hall, casting an eerie glow that unsettled the crowd. Jack Thompson's heart raced as he observed the alien and human guests reacting with a mixture of fear and curiosity. "We need to fix this now," he commanded his team, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside him. Ral Noor, the technologically adept alien, quickly assessed the situation. "It's a malfunction in the holographic projectors," he said, his multiple eyes blinking in rapid succession. "We need to reboot the system." As Jack and his team worked frantically to correct the glitch, the guests' initial amusement turned to genuine alarm. High Chancellor Zorax, visibly perturbed, approached Jack with a stern expression. "Explain this, Earthling. What kind of spectacle are you hosting?" Jack took a deep breath. This is an unintended consequence, but it's also a glimpse into the true spirit of Halloween. It's about confronting fear and finding joy in the unknown. The council members, though skeptical, were now intrigued. They watched as the phantasms continued to float, some guests tentatively reaching out to touch them, their fear gradually giving way to fascination. Dr. Evelyn Carter, the cultural anthropologist, stepped forward. "High Chancellor, this is an opportunity for us to share more than just a holiday. It's a chance to understand each other's cultures on a deeper level." Zorax raised an eyebrow but nodded for her to continue. Evelyn explained the traditions behind Halloween, emphasizing the themes of community, remembrance, and celebration of life and death. Her words resonated with many in the audience, bridging the cultural gap between humans and the alien guests. Meanwhile, Ralnor managed to stabilize the projectors, and the apparitions began to fade. The guests, though shaken, started to relax. Some even began to laugh and engage with the activities once more. Jack felt a wave of relief wash over him, but he knew the night was far from over. Just as things seemed to be calming down, a colossal figure materialized in the center of the hall. The room fell silent as the creature, a towering shadow with glowing eyes, surveyed the crowd. Panic threatened to take hold once more. Jack stepped forward, his military training kicking in. "Everyone stay calm. This is another part of the experience." He glanced at Ralnor, who nodded subtly, indicating he was ready to handle the situation. The figure moved slowly, its presence commanding attention. Jack felt the weight of every eye in the room on him as he approached the apparition. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice strong and unwavering. The shadowy figure paused before responding, its voice deep and echoing. "I am the guardian of memories, here to ensure that the traditions of old are honored and respected." Jack quickly realized this wasn't part of the malfunction. This must be an anomaly, he thought. However, he knew he had to keep the guests engaged. "And we honor them by celebrating Halloween, by remembering the past and embracing the future." The guardian seemed to consider his words before nodding. "Very well. Continue your celebration, but remember, every tradition has its origins and its guardians." With that, the figure dissipated, leaving the hall in stunned silence. Jack turned to the guests, a reassuring smile on his face. "Let's continue our festivities and show our respect for traditions, both old and new." The guests, though still bewildered, began to engage more fully in the activities. The fear that had gripped them transformed into excitement and curiosity. High Chancellor Zorax approached Jack once more, his expression one of grudging respect. "You handled that well, Thompson. Perhaps there is more to your human holidays than we realized." Jack nodded, feeling a sense of accomplishment. "Thank you, High Chancellor. This is what Halloween is about, facing the unknown and finding strength in unity." As the night progressed, the celebration took on a new energy. Guests from different worlds shared stories and traditions, creating a tapestry of cultures that enriched the event. Jack's team moved among them, ensuring everything ran smoothly and addressing any concerns that arose. The guests' initial skepticism had given way to genuine interest and appreciation. The celebration of Halloween had become a symbol of cultural exchange and mutual respect. Jack felt a swell of pride as he watched the interactions, knowing they had achieved something significant. Just as Jack allowed himself a moment of satisfaction, a mysterious message arrived on his communicator. The words were simple yet chilling. "Beware the saboteur within." Jack's eyes scanned the room, his mind racing with the implications. Someone was working against them from the inside. Chapter 3, The Turning Point. Jack Thompson's mind raced as he read the cryptic message on his communicator. The celebration continued around him, but he now knew there was a saboteur in their midst. He quickly signaled to Dr. Evelyn Carter and Ralnor, pulling them aside to discuss the situation. "We have a mole," Jack said, showing them the message. "Someone within the council is trying to undermine us." Evelyn's eyes widened. "We need to find out who it is and stop them before they cause any more damage." Ralnor nodded, his multiple eyes narrowing in concentration. "I can access the security feeds and monitor for any suspicious activity. But we need to be discreet." As Ralnor began his task, Jack and Evelyn moved through the crowd, subtly questioning guests and observing interactions. Jack's military training helped him remain calm and focused, but he couldn't shake the feeling of unease. Meanwhile, the guests were becoming more engaged in the festivities. Alien children laughed as they participated in traditional Halloween games, and adults shared stories and cultural practices with one another. The celebration was achieving its goal of fostering understanding and respect, but Jack knew the threat was still present. Evelyn approached a group of council members, engaging them in conversation. "What do you think of our Halloween traditions?" she asked, her tone light and conversational. One of the council members, a tall figure with emerald skin named Zarkin, responded with a smirk. "It's quaint, but I must admit, it's more enjoyable than I anticipated." Evelyn smiled, but her eyes were keenly observing their reactions. She noted that most were genuinely interested, but one member, a shadowy figure named Varric, seemed unusually reserved and distracted. Jack joined them, exchanging pleasantries before steering the conversation towards the celebration's unexpected challenges. "The holographic glitches were quite the surprise," he said. "It's almost as if someone wanted to disrupt the event." Varric's eyes flickered briefly before he quickly composed himself. "Such things happen with technology," he replied, his voice steady but lacking conviction. Jack's suspicions grew. He decided to keep a close watch on Varric, but he needed more evidence before making any accusations. He subtly signaled to Ralnor, who was monitoring the security feeds. As the night progressed, Jack and his team continued their investigation. They discreetly observed Varric, noting his movements and interactions. It wasn't long before Ralnor alerted them to something unusual. "I've found something," Ralnor whispered through their earpieces. Varric was seen entering a restricted area just before the holographic projectors malfunctioned. Jack's eyes narrowed. "That's it. We need to confront him, but we have to do it carefully." Together, they devised a plan. Jack would create a diversion, allowing Ralnor and Evelyn to corner Varric and extract the truth. As Jack moved to execute the plan, he couldn't help but feel the weight of the responsibility on his shoulders. This celebration had to succeed, not just for Earth, but for the future of their interstellar relations. Jack approached the center of the hall, drawing the guests' attention with a spirited announcement about the next activity. The crowd gathered, eager to participate, while Ralnor and Evelyn moved into position. Varric, sensing something was amiss, tried to slip away, but Ralnor intercepted him. "We need to talk," he said, his voice firm. Evelyn flanked Varric, blocking his escape route. Varric's eyes darted between them, a flicker of panic crossing his face. "What is the meaning of this?" Evelyn leaned in, her voice calm but authoritative. "We know you've been trying to sabotage the event. We have footage of you tampering with the holographic projectors." Varric's expression hardened. "You don't understand. This celebration is a threat to our way of life. Humans are too unpredictable, too chaotic. We cannot allow their influence to spread." Ralnor shook his head. "This is about understanding and respect. By sabotaging this event, you're only proving that you fear what you do not understand." Jack, having successfully distracted the crowd, joined them. "It's over, Varric. You need to stop this now." Varric's defiance wavered, but he remained resolute. "You may have stopped me this time, but there will be others who see the danger you pose." Evelyn stepped forward, her voice softening. "This isn't about danger. It's about learning from each other, growing together. Give us a chance to prove that we can coexist peacefully." Varric hesitated, the tension visible in his posture. Finally, he sighed, his shoulders slumping in defeat. "Very well. But know this, I will be watching." With Varric's threat neutralized, Jack and his team breathed a collective sigh of relief. They had averted a crisis, but the celebration was not yet over. As they watched the guests continue to enjoy the festivities, they knew they had to remain vigilant. The future of their relations depended on the success of this night. Chapter 4. The final revelation. Jack Thompson's communicator buzzed urgently, cutting through the festive atmosphere. He glanced at the message. Unidentified ships approaching. Prepare for immediate action. His heart skipped a beat. The celebration had been going so well, but now there was an imminent threat. He quickly gathered his core team, Dr. Evelyn Carter, Raoul Noor, and a few trusted security personnel. We need to address this immediately, Jack said, his voice calm but authoritative. Evelyn nodded, her face serious. What do we know about the ships? Raoul Noor, already working on his portable console, responded. They're not broadcasting any identification signals. We have to assume they're hostile until proven otherwise. Jack looked around the hall, where the guests were still enjoying the festivities, unaware of the potential danger. We need to keep everyone safe without causing panic, he said. Evelyn, start evacuating the guests discreetly. Raoul Noor, see if you can intercept their communications. As Evelyn began guiding the guests towards the exits under the pretense of an extended tour, Jack and Raoul Noor headed to the command center to get a better understanding of the situation. The command center was a hive of activity, with officers monitoring the approaching ships. Captain, what's the status? Jack asked, addressing the officer in charge. Sir, we have 5 unidentified ships on a direct course for this facility. We're trying to establish communication, but so far, no response, the captain replied. Raoul Noor's fingers flew over his console as he attempted to hack into the ship's systems. I'm in, he said after a tense moment. They're heavily armed. This isn't a friendly visit. Jack's mind raced. Activate the defense grid, but hold fire until I give the order. We don't want to escalate this unless absolutely necessary. The defense grid powered up, and the facility's shields were raised. Outside, the night sky was illuminated by the glow of the incoming ships. Jack felt a cold dread as he considered the potential for disaster. Suddenly, a voice crackled over the intercom. This is Admiral Kalin of the United Coalition Fleet. We are here to ensure the safety of this event and its attendees. Stand down your defenses and prepare for our arrival. Jack frowned. United Coalition Fleet? That doesn't sound right. He turned to Raoul Noor, who was already analyzing the message. It's a ruse, Raoul Noor confirmed. They're using stolen codes. These aren't coalition ships. Jack felt a surge of anger. So they're trying to deceive us. We need to be ready for anything. As the ships drew closer, Jack addressed the command center staff. Prepare for potential combat. We'll give them a chance to explain themselves, but be ready to defend this facility. He switched on the communication channel. Admiral Kalin, this is Jack Thompson. You are approaching a secure event. Identify yourself and state your intentions. There was a brief silence before the voice responded. Our intentions are to ensure that your celebration doesn't spread its influence. Stand down and surrender. Jack's eyes narrowed. Not a chance. This is a peaceful event, and we will defend it. The ships halted their approach, hovering ominously. You leave us no choice, the voice said, and the ships began powering their weapons. Engage the defense grid, Jack ordered. The facility's turrets sprang to life, targeting the hostile ships. Energy shields flared as the first volleys were exchanged. Evelyn's voice came through the communicator. The guests are secured. What's happening? We're under attack, Jack replied. Stay with the guests and keep them calm. We'll handle this. In the command center, the battle raged. Jack directed the defense forces with precision, using his military expertise to outmaneuver the attackers. Raoul Noor provided critical intel, hacking into the enemy systems to disrupt their operations. Despite the chaos, Jack remained focused. Target their engines, he commanded. We need to disable them, not destroy them. The facility's turrets fired a coordinated barrage, hitting the lead ship's engines. It lurched to a stop, crippled. The remaining ships hesitated, their formation breaking. Send a final warning, Jack ordered. Admiral Kalin, you are outmatched. Surrender now, or we will be forced to disable your ships. There was a tense silence before the voice responded. We surrender. Ceasefire. The command center erupted in cheers as the hostile ships powered down. Jack let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. "Stand down, but stay alert," he instructed. "We'll deal with them properly once they're docked." As the ships were brought in under guard, Jack turned to Ralnor and Evelyn, who had rejoined him. "We did it. The celebration is safe." Evelyn smiled, relief evident on her face. "We couldn't have done it without you, Jack." Ralnor nodded in agreement. "Your leadership was crucial, and I'm sure this incident will show the Council the strength and resilience of human traditions." Jack looked around at his team, proud of what they had accomplished. "Let's make sure the rest of the night goes smoothly. We've shown them what Halloween and humanity truly stands for."